all have different fathers.
Every one of them had different fathers.
And that is her husband Amos.
And you know, when I was growing up, we used to have big family reunions, and I was a little girl, and my hair was as white as it is now. You know, I was cotton top, and 4 or 5. I guess I was 5 because I can remember it pretty good. And I noticed that this family was always picking at me. Well, I didn't know I was their grandchild.
Oh.
You know, I mean, I really didn't. You know, because I was on blonde and they were white-headed in the family. I was white, and then I turned blonde. And so they, then later on, when it all came out in the wash, see, Mom, people just zip their mouth up about things.
So when did you find out?
Well, Mom, but when she stayed down here, she lived with me 2 winters.
Yes.
And she told me an awful lot about what went on and what thing. You know, mine was good and everything.
Yes.
And so that's how I found out. And then Ella and I, your mom, was at a Bolling Sturgill Short reunion up in Flat Gap, Virginia, where we came from, and Von Sturgill came up to me and he put his arm around me, one arm around me and one around Ella, and he said, "Y'all come over here and sit down with me. Yeah, I got something I want to tell you." And so he said, "You know that your mother and my mother was half sisters. They both had the same father." And see, it was another George Bolling that, you know, I don't...
Was that George Washington Bolling? Or?
Yeah, George Washington Bolling. Okay. And see, Patty's got all this down on these discs, if we could get a hold of them.
Yeah, I'd like the book, too, that she made for the family reunion, you know, when everybody came.
And so I said, "You've got to be..." She said, "No, this was kept a secret. I want you and Ella to know it. I fell in love with Hazel, and my mom forbid me to date her because said, you're dating, let's see what it would have been.
Half sister.
Half sisters would be...
Would be removed. What's removed,
her,
so
the
it would be
boy,
half cousin. No.
Oh.
If they were half sisters, it would be this.
It was
they would be cousins.
They were cousins.
They would be cousins. They
Yeah, first cousins too.
First cousins.
And she said, "I forbid it." She said, and then she told him, he was the oldest boy, and she told him, and he swore to secrecy. But when last time that I seen, now he may be dead now, he said, "I've got to tell you all so you'll know what connections that our families were." See, they lived down below us, and you know, I used to, when I was a little girl, I used to go down there and I'd carry stove wood in, and she always made the highest, biggest, always a 4-layer chocolate cake. So she'd say, "Now, honey, if you'll get the wood," and I wasn't big enough to hardly carry 2 sticks. Wood in, I'll give you a piece of chocolate cake. And of course, chocolate cake. And you know, a kid, I grew up, not that I was starving, but I was always hungry. I had so much energy that I was constantly hungry.
Yeah.
So I carried that whole box full of wood, and she cut me a great big wedge of that. That cake must have been that high. I don't think Mom ever made one like that. But anyway, she was really my aunt. See, and we didn't know it. And so she'd give me a glass of milk and that big old chocolate cake. I can remember that just as like seeing it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, things like that just stick with you.
Yeah. So all of these sisters and the one brother.
Now that, I'll tell you how I come by that picture.
Okay.
When Sue died, she had that picture.
Oh.
We don't know how she had it. And her daughter, Julie, got it. And so she sent all the pictures, she didn't know who they were, to Eulin, and Linda sent them to me because she didn't know who. Eulin didn't even know who they were.
So Grandma was Mama?
It's Mama.
But was she the oldest?
Huh? She was the oldest.
She was the oldest.
She got married when she was 15 years old.
Yes, I know. I know. She had a fit because I was 20 and a half when I was getting married.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, well, she was 15.
pull it.
Right there.
There you go.
Can I video it?
Okay,
So when did Mama find out that who her real father was?
Mama.
Well, when she was here.
When she was here?
Well, she told me that Grandma had a hard, Grandpa fell, our Grandpa, and if you can remember, you might remember
Yes,
Grandpa.
we do. Yes,
Yeah, I'm
yes,
sure
we
you do. When he was a young man, he was walking the railroad tracks, and he fell through a trestle. So after that, he was crippled for life and probably intimate, you know. So Grandma had to work to make a living, and so she hoed corn and did all these things for different people. And I guess men just talked her. She was real young. Just talked her into it, you know. So I blessed James's heart. I loved him to pieces. He sat here and he laughed and he fell away from this day.
So she had 5 children by 5 different men?
Yes.
Yeah, let Johnny do this now because
Okay.
he wants to get the names.
now tell Kirsty again who they are.
You gotta tilt
That's
it
Mama.
forward a little
That's
bit
your
because of the
great-grandma.
light.
Narvesta.
Nevesta?
Nevesta Bolling, Geneva, and that's Grandpa
Grandpa Amos.
Bolling. His name was George, and that's Aunt Mary, and let's see, that's Uncle Charlie.
Charlie.
That baby is.
And then right in here you got
Let's see, that's Aunt Mary there, and the other one was Aunt Meg.
Meg.
She died with TB.
This one here.
Yeah, that's Meg.
Okay.
I guess it was Maggie. You know.
Okay.
And my, well, let me think of what Grandma's name was. Boy, he'll have to come to me. I'll probably lay in the bed and he'll come to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Maddie? Maddie Minnick?
Maddie, you got it.
Okay. Maddie
That was
Minnick.
Maddie. Maddie Minix, before she married George Bolton.
And
George
so they
Washington.
never had any kids.
They
She
never
just-
had any kids.
She just had kids by
And
anybody.
he took them every one in. God, he must have had a heart of gold.
But didn't he? But didn't the fathers claim that those? That
Oh, the
children-
fathers claimed them. Oh, every one of them, especially Aunt Geneva. I mean, that was Morgan Bolin. I knew him even when I was grown, and he always, and he did, I guess, contribute some support. I don't know.
No, get
Back
down.
then, things were terrible bad.
Do you know the fathers of each of these kids?
No, I don't know who. I know that, but see, my grandfather, real grandfather, I don't know how you say it, but not him, but see, Grandpa there, and my other, my real grandpa, my real grandpa was very wealthy. I mean, he was that George Washington, well, her real daddy.
Her real
And
father.
but Grandpa never could work no more. But he always treated us kids with get your foot off the table. No better than that. And so I forgot who Mom said Uncle Charlie's daddy was, but none of them had the same father. But Aunt Geneva belonged to Morgan Bolton. I can remember that.
And was yours George Washington Bowling, or was it?
Yeah, my real grandpa was George Washington Bolton. Now, Patty researched him and got all that information, but he never denied even me as a little old girl. He always would want to, want me to come over and be close to that side of the family.
Family.
And they were, well, to us, we were poor, but to them, I mean, they were well lived. They lived in West Virginia, and they owned some big farms,
So you didn't think they were related to you at all?
no, I didn't know nothing. I didn't think they were. I just thought they just being friendly,